Hey, everybody. How are you doing tonight? It's Sunday night. I am your host, Peter Brown, and this is FMTV Weekly. Thanks so much for joining us. I see there is a lot of activity in the chat already, so that's awesome. So glad you guys are already getting involved. But we have so much to talk about tonight. I don't even know how we'll fit it all in, but luckily, I'm not sitting here doing this by myself. So let's welcome in our friend, Uncle Ed. Hey, Ed, how you doing tonight?
Hello. Dude, I'm going crazy over here. Like, I got the grandkids over, so there's like toys everywhere, Peter. It's nuts. Look at all this.
Wait a minute.
Unicorn.
What is up with
baby?
What's up with that baby?
I don't.
What's
right?
up?
I don't know how in tarnations the kids got all this around them, but they did it somehow. And the baby's naked, so that's not a good thing. But anyways, Peter, how you doing?
Well, that's a future thumbnail right there, Ed. That's a future.
Gonna bring this one out. Yeah, I kind of like the unicorn though.
Yeah, I was wondering as I'm doing my intro, I can hear you, and I'm like, what is that rattling? I hear some rattling in the background, and
look at it. A lot of rattling, a lot, little baby bondage thing going. I have no idea how they did that, but they are.
Is this Bring Out Your Toys Day? Because check out this
there you go. I like yours. What's that, Mr. Toad?
Mr. Toad,
yeah. Nice. I like Mr. Toad.
It was a gift for Christmas. I just haven't. I got to put a couple shelves up in my room here, and this will go on it alongside. Judge Dredd's favorite little guy here.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. I want to get me some of that, dude. Yeah, Christmas was good to me, man. The kids gave me this.
What? Why aren't they pink?
Yeah.
What's up with that orange?
Yeah, I don't know about the orange, but
they look cool though. They look cool.
If it's free, it's for me. And they gave me a new mic. I haven't been able to try it out. I don't even know if it's a good mic. So if you guys got mics out there you want us to promote, send them our way and we'll do it.
This is a very good question. One world, one goal. Is that a real baby, Ed?
Not a real baby, but real babies play with them. And, it's kind of troubling that it had chains around it. I don't know how the kids did that, Peter. That's nuts.
I don't know, but you got some strange kids in that house, Ed.
Well, it's a matter of fact. Next time I'm going to show you a picture of one of them. The oldest one, she's got actual combat boots going. She's got Dr. Martens already. So
Doc Martens already.
She's in that. She's doing good.
All right. Well,
it's
interesting.
A good start.
All right. Well, this is not the Christmas show, Ed. This is not the show where we just talk about all the gifts that we got and all the fun stuff we got. True. We got so many other things to talk about. And for some reason, Lynch Messian in here is telling us to talk about the NBA.
Oh, I don't know about that. There's so much soccer to talk about right now that I don't think we're going to have to, and nerd stuff to talk about that we like to, throw in there every now and then. But right now, the talk about the NBA, I don't know about that.
I don't even know the first thing about the NBA. But Eric Thomas wants to know, or he's just saying that you're trying to pass off that baby as a plaything. That's Mr. 69's adult toy.
Oh boy!
Hey, look.
Hey, we're not going to go there. But
you walk around with 69 on the back of your shirt. You open yourself up to that.
That's true. It's true. But I've had that number for a while now, so it's. It's been over a decade, if not more than that, Peter, since I've known you.
Yeah, I know. Yes, as long as I've known you, you've rocked the number 69. So.
Yeah, so it's nothing new. Ed. Nothing new, kids.
Nothing new.
Where do you want to start, Peter?
I want to start at telling you, Ed. I know you know already, but I want to tell you where you can get one of these cool looking shirts or 3/4 zips, as they're called. You can go to Caneswear in the Davie store or go to caneswear.com. So, they've got the best selection in South Florida, and I know One World, One Goal is constantly shopping there and giving us a shout out every time she does it. So thank you so much for that. But everybody else needs to do the same thing. Go to Caneswear, go to caneswear.com if you're out of the area. If you're like Ed, it's a little bit far of a drive. No worries. They deliver. And mention Football Miami TV every time you do it. Ed, why don't you take a minute and welcome in those folks in the chat room?
I will, but first of all, I wanted to say that, we were talking about Christmas earlier.
Yeah.
I got some polos for my son-in-laws, because there's two.
Okay.
And they got brand new polos. I got those through Canesworth because I was like, I don't have time to go there, but you know what? Let me get online.
They
Dude,
delivered.
I got them the next day, and just in time for Christmas. So it was
Awesome.
you guys should do it. If you don't live close by, go ahead and get your all your Inter Miami gear at Caneswear. Guys, oh my God, dude, this thing is just exploding. Thanks to everybody that's getting on our Futbol Miami TV videos and chatting with us. Let me start with Jose Velasquez, who is leaving us a nice message. He was the first one up. We got Judge Dredd the Law always supporting us. Thank you so much, Judge Dredd. Even though he doesn't live in Miami, he's still supporting. I mean,
he's somebody he's somebody that can use Caneswear because they'll deliver to Orlando.
Go ahead and do it, guys. Jazz Fusion also supporting us. Fusion fan right there. We've got Kevin Gonzalez, one of our good friends. He's always constantly on the show, watching everything that Peter, all the crazy stuff that Peter Brown does. We've got Dan the Destroyer. He's on here as well. How you doing, Dan? And let's see, we got Bruno Vieira. How you doing, Bruno? Hope everything is good. Our good friend Eric Thomas, who was just in town recently. Sorry I missed you, man. But we're hoping he moves down here quick. Another guy that's out of town and supporting us. Good stuff from Eric Thomas, and hopefully we'll have a little message from him later on.
I don't know. We've never gotten a message from Eric.
Oh,
so
Eric
that would be a first.
No.
That would be a first. I've never received a message from Eric. Uncle Ned, on the other hand, Uncle Ned, who is in the same neck of the woods because he tends to drive down a lot from New Jersey. Yeah, and
they should drive down together one day.
Maybe Uncle Ned can leave a message because there is so much to talk about.
There is. There's Techie Stu. How you doing, Techie Stu? We got a lot of people. Lynch McKean is here. I think I'm pronouncing it right. One World, One Goal. We've known her forever, and she's always been supporting us since back in the day. Let's see who else we got here. Man, there's just a lot of James Davies is also on here. James, how are you? Jose Carrillo. He put a flamingo instead of a heron, but we'll forgive him for that. Our good friend Chris Arjun is also here. One of the players, brothers, cousins, or long forgotten relative, Jonathan Carranza, is also on here. We got footballer Jeff Reed, Superior 7. I feel like we're on what's it called, Romper Room. Did you ever hear about Romper Room? They had like a little thing.
I used to watch Romper Room. I'm pretty old, dude.
Yeah, they had like this little thing where you were naming people or whatever. Yeah. I already said Superior 7. B King, another one that's been listening to us for a while, putting up with Peter Brown's craziness. Lucas Villatena, how you doing, Lucas? Ricky Ricardo,
hey, Ricky, how you doing, Ricky?
Ricky's on board as well. Gerardo Guerrero, and I think that's it for now, Peter. But yes, a lot of
that's a lot. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for
a lot of love from everybody and their mama. So anyways, Peter, so much to talk about. Guys, don't forget to call us, 786-474-4435. Leave us a message, and we'll talk about it if it's something good, and we'll listen to it if it's not that good.
No matter what, we'll listen to it, good or bad, if we'll listen to it.
For sure. Yeah, we don't discriminate.
Nah. I mean, look, if you're bad, we might make fun of it, but if you're good, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Definitely. So where are we starting now, Peter?
I'll tell you that Uncle Ed, Eric Thomas loves you.
Oh man, shucks, man, right back at you.
Loves you. What do we talk about, man? Ed, there's so much. It's like we talked about. Hey, first off, I want to because there's so much to talk about, and the fans want to jump in. Why don't we do this? I mean, you and I could talk for a long time, but let's do it a little more chat driven and voicemail driven tonight. Let's we've got a couple questions in there. Instead of us just going through all the topics that we can discuss, I thought it'd be fun to let the chat kind of direct the show a little bit tonight. What do you think, Ed?
Let's do it.
So if we go up to the near the top, Darn it. Now, but the problem is now I saw a couple good ones, and now I can't find them. Of course, I can't find them now. But as you see him coming in, speak up and let me know, and we'll pop them in there and stuff like that. But there was a question in here from Mr. Carranza, and trying to find that one. I thought it was a pretty good question, Ed. Here we go. Here it goes. Hey, Pete and Uncle Ed. My question is, are we making a smart choice by having a clean house and getting rid of everyone? Well,
wow, Peter.
I mean, I thought that was a good one to start because that leads us into so many different places, Ed. If we're bringing in a new coach, right? So the funny thing is, we talked about this for a while, that Alonso was on thin ice. Said it to Big O. He kind of debated with us. He yelled at us a little bit, but proved that we were right. He thought he was fired. You know what? The thing is, Inter Miami, when they got busted and firing him, but him getting confused, and he wasn't fired, but he was fired. If he was, they should have just let him go at that moment. Just said, yeah, that he's gone. Instead of this back and forth drama our friend over at SBI Soccer, Franco Panizo, has been calling this a telenovela, and he's right. I keep calling it drama, but it's totally a telenovela, Miami style, everything. But we got rid of the coach, and so you want to give this new coach, who we all think is this guy right here, Phil Neville. If Phil Neville coming in, you want to give him the opportunity to have a voice in what kind of players they bring in. So, yeah, I'd say good choice. What do you think, Ed?
Well, he doesn't have that much coaching.
No. Hang on. Just go back. Go back. Good choice as far as Carranza's question, getting rid of everybody. Then we could talk about whether or not he's a good choice as a coach, because that's a whole nother topic, right?
There's just so much to talk about, Peter. I'm just jumping ahead of myself, and you threw that in my face, and you see him. All right. So, is it a good move? Well, I think it's a good move for the new coach, who's going to be able to pick his players. He's got 18 players, I think it was, Peter. And I think I had sent you a list of those players. I'm looking it up right now, but I think it's a good choice in the sense that Phil's going to be able to pick his players, most of them anyway. I'm hoping that if he does come in, or whoever comes in, because we don't even know if it's him, has some MLS experience, so he knows how to get through all these loopholes and rules and stuff that will make his life a living hell in Major League Soccer, because we know how much of a headache it is to play around with the salary cap and all these different things that come up with what are those abbreviations, Peter? Like of course the DPs and the
GAM and TAM.
GAM and TAM and you name it. So it could be a good thing just because he's going to be able to get players that he can actually use. And I think the maximum players for each team is 30 or 32?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
So right now he's got 18 players. So he's got a base. He's got a base of players, but there's no room for a DP as it stands right now. So he's going to have to look for players, for journeymen or young players that are going to fill in those gaps that he has right now. As I said, there's only 18 players. So, and I'm trying to look for the list. I don't know if you've got that list, Peter.
No, I don't.
I was looking for it.
No. All right. Well,
I wanted to read off of it so you have an idea of all the empty spaces that we have. But
I mean,
you had some more thoughts?
We've got quite a few empty spaces, so we've definitely got room to move around and look. We need also, besides a coach, we need that general manager who's going to make those deals happen. And currently, we did hear, and that the great image that I put up in the thumbnail. This one right here that I've got in my frame, that shows Beckham is in town, and Beckham is apparently ready to get to work, and he's going to get a lot more involved, so he says. And from what I understand, he might have brought his entire family. I saw something posted that he might have brought his entire family. His kids are going to do like schooling from, distance learning type of deal. Yeah, distance learning, so no big deal. But so he's apparently they're all here in town, and so he's calling the shots, and it's I guess call some connections. The question is, how many connections does he have in MLS? I mean, we need all these connections that he supposedly has worldwide are great for DP level players, or maybe getting somebody in under TAM, but we need MLS level players. And when you think about Andres Reyes is a player that they had on their team, the Colombian player that we had the option to buy. They chose not to take that option, so he's back with his club in Medellin. And so that one of two things: either they're going to be a little cheaper this year, which is a good possibility, or his value just dropped. So if they're regardless. Especially if they're not spending as much money, you need somebody in that front office that knows a lot about the MLS level players. And I don't know how much Beckham is really studying the MLS. I mean, where does he have great? He played in the league long enough. He should have good connections within MLS, within the MLS ranks. But I don't know if he does.
He's got a lot of friends, Peter, and I think we mentioned it. We had talked about this in a chat that we have, a personal chat that we have. He's got a lot of friends, but you were saying that he doesn't have any friends in MLS. How was that? You said
I said get new friends. Yes. Get new friends.
Yeah,
I said
to get some new friends. Yeah.
Because right now. Well, here's the thing. Right now, we're looking like we're getting this guy. These two guys are buddies, right? We're going old school here.
Friends. They're friends.
They're buddies. They played together, and they also are co-owners of a third, fourth division English club, something like that. So. Let's go back to that. You started going down the path of, is Phil Neville the right guy?
Right.
He doesn't have any experience managing a men's team, a professional men's team. Obviously, he was an assistant. I think at Man U or something like that. And he's played at Manchester United. I forgot where he was assistants, but I think he spent time in Valencia as well. I think. I don't know.
Right. And he's I can look that up real quick.
I know he spent some time in a Spanish club, so it makes me wonder: does he speak Spanish? Because that's, I think, an important thing for the job.
Very important, because we had some misinterpretations or I don't know. They weren't able to communication problems, Peter.
Yep.
And that's something that we just can't have happen. So here the teams he's managed: Salford City. Mm-hmm. He was the caretaker. It says. Mm-hmm. England's women's team and Great Britain women's team, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I from what I've read, I want to get back to the chat here. But from what I've read, he's more a possession oriented. So that's good. I like that style of soccer better than what Alonso was doing. Just trying to cross it in or doing whatever he was doing. We don't know what he was doing. We it didn't look good. So
Peter, while you're looking at the chat, let me just read this out real quick. We've got if we do have Phil Neville as the coach, I think it's good that he starts now because he's got time. Not like the last coach we had, Alonso. He basically came on, and 2 weeks later we're basically starting to practice. So as forwards, we've got only Carranza, Higuain, and Robbie Robinson. Midfields, we got Acosta. Chapman, Matuidi, Morgan, Pellegrini, Pizarro, Ulloa, and Felipe Valencia. Defenders, we got Figal, Gonzalez Pires, we got Macun, Nealis, Quinteros, Segrist, who came in, Brakshay, your favorite. And goalkeepers, we got two of them. We got Calendar, and we got McCarthy. So he's got a lot of holes to fill in. That's only 18 players that we have at this very moment on Inter Miami. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 30 or 32 players, which is the max. You guys in the chat room could tell me which actually is the number of players that each team in MLS can have. And there's the difference. There's a lot of people to fill in. but we don't have any DP spots right now. We don't know if the team has negotiated with Pellegrini to bring him down, so that Neville or whoever the coach is brings in a coach that a player that is DP level. That whoever our coach is going to want to bring in his players, and I think it's important that he can have at least one DP of his choice. And who would he bring?
Who would he bring is a good question, but more importantly, it's like we don't have a DP, so that goes back to that Pellegrini thing that we've been talking a lot about. Hey, let's go back to the chat a little bit. Here's one. Aleboss has been posting this over and over again. Do you think Valencia will do good in the team? And also, is it confirmed that Phil Neville is a new manager? No, it is not confirmed that he's a new manager, but every news outlet is saying we should expect a press conference in the next few days. So this upcoming week is rumored, strong rumors that Phil Neville will be coming, and they'll also be announcing some other front office announcements. According to Michelle Kaufman of Miami Herald, she said that there was going to be some other. So maybe a general manager. What I'm concerned about is that they promote general manager from within. That's my biggest concern. But who knows? I mean, maybe they got somebody. And the funny thing is, our old GM, Tubby, as Eric Thomas likes to call him, sounds like he's landed in Atlanta. He's back at Atlanta. Yeah, and I think they made that official. I'm pretty sure that was made official. But back to Aleboss's question though, is Inter Miami's first academy signee, Felipe Valencia. He's a homegrown player. So I saw some people saying, "Who the hell is Valencia?" He is a homegrown player, came up from the academy, and he's going to get a shot with the first team. I'm curious. I mean, he's a young kid. I forget. He's something. I think he's like 16 or something like that. He's
17, I think.
16 or 17. He's very young. The 15-year-old Homestead, Florida made history twice this year. 15, Ed.
Oh wow, we were wrong. I thought he was older. Is he actually going to get some playing time is what I'm thinking, Peter.
I mean, I guess it all depends on if he impresses whoever the hell the coach is. And he's going to get a shot. He's going to get his chance. He's going to be at least in the preseason, right? So he'll get his chance. Does he impress? How? Because we don't know. I mean, we saw him a little bit play for Fort Lauderdale, but I'll be honest, I didn't key in on him as a player in Fort Lauderdale. I'd have to go back and watch some of those games if I knew where to find him.
There were other players that we were talking about. I don't think he was on our radar at all. And so we're going to see.
I would not be surprised to see him right back at Fort Lauderdale, kind of one of those deals where he's loaned out. So he gets to obviously maybe train a little bit more with the first team, but then plays his games with Fort Lauderdale, something like that.
Right.
Which would be good because that'd be good for his growth. If he gets to train with the first team, just training with the first team every day, he's going to grow a lot right there. Right.
And I think we saw some other players. McCoon had also been loaned out to Fort Lauderdale. So some of these players that are on the roster right now might go down to Fort Lauderdale just to get minutes. So, and
Absolutely.
Like I said, we don't know who's going to come in, who's going to be the starters. I mean, some of these players last year that we thought were going to be starters, like AJ de la Garza, they barely used him. They used him more towards the end.
He's back he's in New England now.
Lee Gwynn was another one. We thought that he was going to be there.
He's in Korea.
That he was going to be a starter. He's in Vietnam now. There were all these different players that we thought were shoo-ins. Alonso went with youth. That didn't work, and this is where we're at right now.
Yeah, and Will Trapp is gone, and he actually made some comments on his way out saying basically they were a collection of individual players. They never came together as a team, which we could all agree with as you watch it. But it's interesting to hear people come out of you always want to know what are they saying in the locker room, and that alone, I guess, is a reason that Alonso could be fired. Most people, it's funny, is people that are not down here, the worldwide MLS media, or not media, fandom, we're coming down on Inter Miami for getting rid of Alonso so quickly. I mean, you could come down on them on how they handled it. They handled it very poorly. But
Right.
a lot of people just felt like he didn't get a chance, because of the COVID and all that. We thought here he would at least get a quarter of a season, but obviously,
to pick his own players and stuff.
Obviously, Beckham was busy working on his buddy right here, trying to get him in the fold.
Hairstyle for sure, man. Wow, that was back in the South Africa days, right?
That's a good Beckham hairstyle right there, huh?
Yeah. He's come out saying that he didn't know what he was thinking about when he took that.
Oh, did he? Okay, all right.
That hairstyle. So.
All right, another question here in the chat, and we're way behind on the chat questions, so I'm just poking around finding stuff. James Davis, let me move this up a little bit. Whatever, I can't do it. It says, Pete and Ed, who do you think will replace Luis Robles? Because they are some big shoes to fill. Seeing that Inter Miami are linked with Jonas Lossell from the UK. Yes. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. I say most names wrong, but this guy here, Jonas Lossell? Lossell? Do you know how to say it, Ed?
I sure don't, Peter. We'll just go with your pronunciation. Where is he from?
He's from Denmark. He's currently with Everton, but in 2020 he was loaned out to Huddersfield in the Championship. Yeah. So, now I know we were talking about this a little bit in a chat, and we didn't like the idea. But as I think a little bit more about it, he's not going to be a DP. I mean, he's sitting on the bench in Everton, he's getting loaned out to a lower level team. So I imagine they're going to get, if they bring him in, they're going to get him, at a TAM level. They're not signing, because that's to me the biggest waste. If you sign a DP keeper in America, I think that's a waste of just a waste. Because
because there's so many goalkeepers here in the States. I mean, there's something you said before. If there's anything that Americans know how to do, is catch. They
can catch the ball.
Yeah, so we don't need goalkeepers here. I agree with you. There's also been talk of other goalkeepers with more famous players who could come in as goalkeepers, and I agree with you. We don't need a goalkeeper. If this guy is not a DP and he's coming in, he's good, fine. He'll probably be a shoo-in for starter. Unfortunately for McCarthy and Callender, but whatever. If we get a good goalkeeper, I'm okay with that.
All right, here Eric Thomas is asking us a question for you guys. Who do you think has the inside track at GM? I mean, that's it'd be great if they could poach Chris Henderson over from Seattle Sounders. He's not he works underneath Garth Lagerwey. Both of them have Miami Fusion ties. I know that they had talked to him back originally when they chose to go with Old Tubby. But Chris Henderson's done great there. I would love to see that, but I don't know if they're poaching him away. Here's what I'm afraid of. I don't know. I mean, because there's so many names out there. I don't necessarily know that we're going to poach anybody from a general manager position. So you're talking about then the guy underneath him. And I'll be honest, I don't know all those guys in the league, so it's hard for me to guess. But here's what I'm afraid of, and I think it could happen, is a promotion of Nicky Butelich.
Yeah, we showed our concern in the last show we had that he comes from a team that until this year they sucked.
He came from Orlando. He did the job in Orlando, and he did it poorly.
And the thing is, there's a lot of people currently that came from Orlando, and we always put up a big question mark because Orlando wasn't doing good for a while on the field and off the field, and they brought all these people in from Orlando. So we've always had that red flag, waving, but it is what it is. But hopefully, like you say, Peter, maybe they won't hire somebody from within. We'll see.
Right. Hey, let's go to a voicemail. We've got one from here. I think somebody we know. Oh, hang on a second. Gotta make sure it's plugged in good. Well, it's just a finicky, little thing here. Let's try it again.
Oh, it's not going through here.
Here we go.
Hey, it's America's favorite uncle, Uncle Ned. So once again, I gotta say, fam.
Damn.
Well, I got the car ready, man. I got the van ready. The 90 conversion van is ready to go. I'm ready to go down to South Florida to pick up Phil Neville. I gotta say, pot was just legalized in the state of New Jersey last week, January the 1st. So forgive me if I sound a little bit, happy, but I'm pretty positive on picking up Phil Neville. I mean, listen, I know his record is kind of iffy. Valencia, he didn't do so well. He got canned within the first month, I think they were saying. But he did pretty good with the women's team. Listen, either you know X's and O's on soccer or you don't, okay? Everything else is about preparation, all right? If he can build a staff of coaches next to him that has MLS experience, experience like we've talked about before, I think Pablo Mastroeni would have been perfect, okay, as an assistant coach. But if he can build a staff who has MLS experience, I'll be honest with you, man. I think he's going to actually have a leg up on Diego Alonso just right there. So I'm willing to give this guy a chance, man. I think he can do pretty good over here. Plus, I think he'll be able to communicate better with the players, and I'm not just talking about on Spanish to English type of conversion. I'm talking about just communicate. Period. I think Alonso was very emotional and very, hyper, but after practice, I don't know. What was he, drinking a Corona and chilling out or what? I don't know what was going on with Alonso, but if he can communicate better with his players, then that would be a plus. Plus, I got another jewel to drop on you. It seems like there's a buzz going around that Mario Mandzukic might be available. I don't know if that's true. Maybe you guys have heard a little bit of something about it, and maybe you guys may want to speak on it. The guy is 34 years old. He's probably going to be coming over here cheap. I don't think he can be a DP. If he comes over here, maybe he can pull something like a Blaise Matuidi thing where he comes in on a TAM salary. We'll see if they open up that 21-year-old exemption for DPs. Maybe we can slide Pellegrini over to the 21-year-old and under exception, and then slide in Mario Mandzukic as the DP. So I don't know. Maybe you guys have some insight on it. But anyway.
He tends to go a little long on these voicemails, but looks like he continued on. So let's play his second voicemail. It's only 18 seconds long.
One last thing. America's favorite uncle, Uncle Ned. Ed, put down those baby dolls, especially the bald-headed baby dolls with the chains around their neck. We don't want to see your adult toys laying around, all right? Talk to you later. Bye. We love you, Ed. Bye.
That was important enough to call back.
Yeah, he had to add that.
That's important enough to call back.
And for you guys that didn't see it earlier, it was we had it's this. One of my grandkids. I don't know how she did this, but yeah, it's little bondage thing going there. I don't know, but there's a unicorn. This is pretty innocent. Unicorn right here. So
yeah,
that's Uncle Ned, America's favorite uncle. Thanks, Uncle Ned.
Yeah. Well, Ed, what do you think? So his big thing is he thinks that Phil Neville will be a better communicator. So he did spend time in Valencia, so he might know some Spanish. I don't know, but he might know some. He might know some.
Yeah. David Beckham supposedly knows. He knows how to make a Cuban cafecito. That's good for Beckham.
That's all he needs.
Yeah, and so that's he's halfway there. He just needs to speak a little more Spanish, and
And look,
I think we'll be good.
I don't think the language thing is that big of a deal if somebody's translating. But we saw so often Alonso yelling at the players, and there was nobody translating. He's just going off yelling at people and doing his thing, but only doing it in Spanish, and nobody's sitting there translating. So if Phil Neville has an assistant coach that can translate, well, then there you go. I mean, clubs do this around the world, so it's not that big a deal. They should be able to work it out. To me, it's less about how he is with the X's and O's. I have no concerns. He's played the game long enough. He knows that kind of stuff. Does he know to put in your good substitutes before the last 5 minutes? Probably. You know, you don't want to necessarily save everybody for the last 5 minutes of the game. Put them in a little earlier when they can actually make an impact. I'm sure he knows better. To me, it's really about the culture in the locker room. It sounded like there really wasn't one. It was a very divided locker room, and they were just a collection of players, like Will Trapp said. And I just sat and I listened to or watched an interview recently, from oh darn it! Now I just drew a blank. What's the name of the new LA Galaxy coach?
Gosh darn it, Vanny.
Yes. So I watched an interview with Greg Vanny, and listening to him talk, I was like, man, I had been crying that I wanted him to be our manager and for us to steal him for a while, at least privately. I don't know if I said it on the show or not, but listening to him talk, he talks so much about the culture, and they even asked him questions like, what does that mean? Because every coach says culture, but what does that mean? And so he got into it a little bit. And if Phil Neville can, build up that culture and have a better maybe relationship with the players, because it feels like maybe that was an issue there, that the division of not, in the locker room of just being a collection of players and not necessarily being a group, together. If he could bring them together and be truly a manager. Look, I am a manager in my job, and I always say this: the work is easy, the people are complicated and difficult. So the work for him is the X's and O's. That should be easy. The people are the hard part. How good is he at massaging egos and getting the most out of the players? That's really what I want to see. And we don't know. We just don't know about that with him.
Wow. Well, we'll definitely get a chance in seeing that if it actually happens. And as Peter was saying earlier, Beckham's in town, and it looks like he's here to make a difference. And
it's about time.
Yeah, you're right. It's something we did talk about also, I think, if not in last show, a show
several
prior,
shows, I think,
where we were talking about, that we want Beckham to be there, with the team, to actually be there like Jorge Mas has been. Jorge Mas, you could see he's been there. He was with Paul McDonough all the time. He's, and that he's a guy who really didn't know that much about soccer. And now, this past year, he's been immersed in it. You see him, you see that he wants to learn, that he's learned. That's what we want to see Beckham doing too. Involved with the team and in everyday problems, and with the coaches, with the staff, with the players. And I think he wants to do that now. Him showing up this week, I think, is very important for the players and for us. It makes us feel. It gives me the warm and fuzzies, Peter.
Yeah. Mike Blitz 92 says Uncle Ned is too happy. Neville's style of play is more in line of what the owners wanted to play, and in that regard, Neville is better. Yeah, they talked about having this attacking, beautiful style of soccer, very attacking, and then it was not that. I mean, we bunkered often and tried to just attack, and we failed.
Which is, it was basically a counter-attacking team, which was basically what Alonso's view of soccer is. That's how he's won his championships and stuff like that. So I guess they, like you said before, Peter, it was like they brought him in last minute. They had other people in mind. That didn't pan out. I don't know if it was the money or they just didn't have the right contacts, but it didn't work out. And that's, I think, is why Paul McDonough is no longer with us.
Out of there. All right, another voicemail here.
Hey, it's Italia, known as One World, One Goal. I had to call in. Good news, Beckham took a private plane with his family, and now that they have the lockdown in England, they're stuck here in Miami for a while, homeschooling their kids and rebooting our entire soccer team, which, hello, I guess we're named Miami Herons now. So those people who were a little, confused by the Inter branding, thinking it meant within Miami when we're in Fort Lauderdale, they might be getting their wish with the Inter talk. And then him hiring Phil Neville, which, I understand it's his buddy and maybe he just wants to regroup. And hopefully they also hire one of the past MLSers like Jeff Cassar, or I know they talked to people like Chris Henderson in the past, and there's quite a few floating around. You look at Jay Heaps. I mean, we hope we can pick up somebody past Fusion so that they, in the GM or assistant GM type situation so that they can tie more into MLS. And then, not to get bitter, but people were expecting, a Mourinho, a big name. They were expecting Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. They're expecting a big stadium at the Port of Miami on the water. So, they really need to do a big marketing campaign. If they in fact do rebrand the nickname, they can keep the badge. They just have to rebrand the nickname and, like the @Inter Miami on Twitter and Instagram and all that would have to be rebranded. So yeah, they have a lot on their plate, but Beckham is here. Let's hope he really does a great job. Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
All right. Thank you. One World, One Goal. A lot there. Beckham in town finally. Like we've been saying, it's about time. It's time for him to get to work. And I like that. And the image that he posted on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere that we stole. I liked it because it looks like he's ready for business. He's got that serious look. Like, I am here. I'm not here to play. I'm not here to look at my nice stadium. I am here to work. He's got that look on his face.
Championships. We're getting a championship. That's what he's saying. Yeah,
that had that intensity in his face, and I like that. I need that. But so let's talk about her other thing. She kept saying over and over again about rebranding and being the Miami Herons. So for anybody that doesn't know, Inter Miami has been in a
lawsuit, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lawsuit, but I'm just trying to think. It's when you darn it, I can't think of when you try to
rebrand or
when you try to own a name. Trademark. Yes, thank you. They've been in a trademark lawsuit for the beginning of launching the name, pretty much. So they Inter Milan is got a trademark on the name Inter. Not Inter Milan, but on Inter particularly in the United States. And so it wasn't Inter Miami. From what I understand, it's not Inter Milan that was filing suit. It's MLS was going after their copyright, just basically trying to say it's should be null and void here. And they've got several reasons. So everything that they've tried so far has been thrown out of court. And so they've lost the battles so far, but they still have one more. And it's, from what I understand, it's scheduled to go in front of the judge later in the year. So, and the term is strictly on the name Inter. So let's say they lost, really, really lost. Still, nothing has to happen until Inter Milan says cease and desist. And then, if that does happen, really, all they have to do is go by International Miami. Everybody thinking, we're going to have to go and change the name completely. All you have to just do is use the longer version. All you have to do is use the longer version, which I think sounds cooler anyways. And all the fans will still call it Inter Miami, but you can't stop that because it's just about printing it on T-shirts and stuff like that. That's really what it's about, paraphernalia. And so, not that big a deal. But now I have it on some good authority that the team is very, very confident that they will not have to change. Don't know why. Don't know the inner workings as far as did they make a deal with Inter Milan, because that's what they said. Usually in these kind of situations, these two corporations will just make a deal behind in the boardroom and just make an agreement. So maybe that's going to happen. I don't know, or they're confident in their lawyers. But Inter Miami is confident that they will not have to rebrand or change or stop using the term Inter.
All right, that sounds cool to me. That was something that we had actually talked about on our own before, but we were kind of, I don't know if angry, but I was kind of annoyed with the fact that a lot of people thought they had to change the whole name. A lot of people on Twitter, a lot of these haters putting that, now's the perfect time to call themselves a striker since they're in Fort Lauderdale anyway.
That'd be cool.
Oh, I know you would. But I mean, they don't have to. It's what it comes down to. They don't have to. It's it's just the Inter part that's the problem, and that's only here in the States, though, right? The use of Inter here in the United States, or is that worldwide?
No, it's a trademark in the United States, so it would apply to here. And Inter Miami's one of their arguments is that there are several other Inters in the United States in academies, and I know there's an Inter Nashville. I mean, there's several other Inters. And nobody's stopping them. Well, it's because they're small potatoes, so it's not on anybody's radar. And this, in all honesty, this is not Inter Miami lawsuit. This is an MLS lawsuit. Jorge Mas it's not his team of lawyers going up against this. This is the single entity organization. All the owners combined with all their might and strength and their powerful lawyers or whatever they may or may not have, going after this. And I've heard they're confident they will not have to change the name. But if they did, worst case scenario, they just call themselves. I mean, to me, just going by International sounds cooler.
Right.
International.
I'm okay with it.
I mean, that sounds cool. Maybe it's because I'm used to hearing it when I go to some Latin American countries. When you go to there's some International. I think in Brazil. There's Colombia. I mean, Colombia. There's Nacional in Medellin. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm just used to hearing that. I like the way it sounds.
Right. Hopefully nothing will happen. But yeah, there are a few other teams. If it was worldwide, then they could have told these other teams in Brazil, et cetera, to come in and help them out. But if it's here in the States, then that is a lot of owners. There's a lot of might behind Major League Soccer. A lot of money. So it's a clash of the Titans, Peter.
Yeah. All right. Here's a funny question. Peter, when are you making a permanent spot for One World, One Goal in front of the camera? We could talk about it. Right, Ed? I mean,
Yeah, why not?
We could talk about a spot for One World, One Goal. I'm not sure.
How could you tell it? It says One World, One Goal. It said yeah, is that the abbreviation? One World, One Goal?
Yeah, I figured it out. I figured it out, Ed.
Okay, good. I was like, OWOG. I was like, what?
What's OWOG?
Yeah, I was like, it didn't compute at first.
I mean, I'm pretty confident. Here, Superior 7 is asking, this year, will we get a sponsor, a shirt sponsor?
Man, look, I don't know, Peter.
This is a tough year to do it because everybody, the funny thing is everybody's so excited that 2020 was over. 2020's over, Here, let's welcome in 2021. Guess what? Same old, same old. Everything's the same. No, there's nothing different yet. There's hope. That's it. And like they say in Star Wars, rebellion is built on hope. But dude, I am so
the nerd comes out.
I am so into Star Wars right now. It's if anybody is nerding like me, Star Wars came out with on Tuesday their new publication thing, and it's called High Republic. So they're putting out books and comic books and children's books and all these different books based on Star Wars 200 years before Luke. It's awesome. And their first book, it's really good. It's really good. And I'm all about.
You got it?
I'm like 50 pages from being done. I mean, I'm close to the end.
Huh.
I'm close to the end. It's good. It's
Are you getting any work done at work?
Yeah, I'm getting work done at work, but when I'm done with work, I sit out by the pool and read. And I was doing that before this show, just chilling out there reading the book. It's some good stuff. It's good, and rumors are that maybe they're laying groundwork for some of the future movies.
Probably, and I see you were like backpedaling there a little bit, like just in case one of your bosses is listening to the show. You're like, oh yeah, of course I'm getting work done.
I am one of the bosses.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's convenient then.
Yeah, no, but I still got a lot of work to do, and that's part of the reason why I've got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of people. I gotta.
Well, that and you just told me off the air that you are not gonna pick up your Disney pass this year.
Yeah,
and
no.
You mentioned a little bit about that.
Yeah, off topic. Next week, I will not be doing the show. Ed might do a show next week on his own, but I will not be part of the show because I will be in Disney, and so I'm trying to get as much Disney time as I can. It's a long week. It's a 3-day weekend because kids don't have school, so I'm taking advantage of it. And I'm not renewing my Disney annual pass in 2021. It expires in April, so I'm going to try to go to Disney as much as I can to use up that pass before it expires. So we're not renewing it because we want to do some different things in 2021, 2022.
Like watch Inter Miami.
Well, there's that, but also just some different traveling, and so when you spend so much money at Disney, because look, those passes ain't cheap, Ed. They're like $1,000 per person. So they're not cheap. So I mean, I could do some other vacations with that money. So that's what we're gonna do. But
cool.
I've done this before. It's my time off away from Disney is generally short. It's like a year, and that's it. And then I'm jonesing to go back. Me and my daughter both. We just can't get enough of it. So, Ale Boss was asking, what's the number to leave a voicemail again? I put it up. Let me just see if any new ones came in.
786-474-4435.
All right, and we got one here. I'm not sure if Ale Boss is Alejandro, but here's one from Alejandro.
My name is Alejandro, and my question is, which player do you think is going to be the best for the season that's coming? Thank you. Let me know.
Which player is going to be the best for the season that's coming? I think, to me, Ed, you can only talk about the players we have.
And there aren't many players right now. If you ask me, who was the best player this year? It was Morgan. That guy is solid. He was, I don't think he played bad in any of the games that we had. He was the only one that we could mention constantly, and that, he did his job every so often. He would never make a bad pass that I could remember. He was always in the game, but he didn't have the people around him. So if there's anybody that's my candidate for next year to be the best player, it's Morgan. And he's probably going to want some more money if they bring him back. But I've heard there's a lot of interest from Europe for Morgan. So I think he'll be with us for this year, hopefully. And then he might be gone. Who do you think, Peter?
Well, they don't have to pony up any more money for him for this season because he's under contract, right? So they don't have to spend any more money. He's in contract. But, there's definitely a lot of interest. And so we could see him sold. It depends. How interested is Inter Miami in winning in 2021? If they are prepared to actually try to really win, they'll keep him. He's our best player. He is the player that's going to be the best in 2021. Because he was the best in 2020, so it's an easy one to say it's gonna be him. But how long is he with us is a better question. I don't really know, but there is definitely a lot of interest. So they should. That's to me that's the sign. If they sell him, that means we're kind of taking the foot off the pedal in 2021. Going to regroup. We're going to maybe try to bring in a few players, give maybe Neville some time and build the club and give the coach time the way they really should have done, I guess, with Alonso. But I guess they saw a lot of things that they didn't like there. So, but yeah. And so if it's not him, I mean, Higuain better be good. He better be better.
Right. And stop fighting with the coach, with the refs as much as he did before, and start scoring some goals. He only gave us one goal in how many games? I think he was in 6 or 7.
Yeah,
if that.
I didn't count. Yeah.
And he didn't play in a few games because he got red carded. So he needs to start scoring. He was moving back because I guess he wasn't getting fed that much. That's why our concern was also Pizarro, who while he played good and he had flashes of grandeur, I guess you would say, every time he touched the ball, he seemed to hold on to the ball a little bit too much and maybe not play as the 10 that he should have been. So let's see how it goes this year, man. But there's 2 players right now that we mentioned, in Higuain and Pizarro, that need to step it up. They have the potential to be the best players on the team, but they just haven't done it yet. And their DPs, Morgan isn't. Right.
And it looks like there's some back and forth in the chat as far as people don't agree with me that they have not lost. Everybody's saying that they lost the Inter deal and they're going to have to pay. One going to say they have to pay a settlement by January 2022 or not use Inter. So not 100% true from everything I've read. They are not done with their legal wranglements. There's 2 parts of the lawsuit, and they were all arguing about the first part. And I didn't pull up what they were both called, the 2 parts, but they still have the second part that they can argue.
Right.
And just so you know, the information I got that the front office is confident, I got that today. So
it is what it is.
There you go. Mike Blitz wants to know, what's the latest news with the Miami Stadium? So I also heard that is moving forward as well, that they are prepared to, in the next month, I think it was, that they're prepared to put something in front of the city. So that is still moving. It's just slow. I mean, everything slowed down because of the pandemic. I think in some ways the pandemic gave the club an excuse because it was not going to be fast anyways. We all knew it. It was taking time. The 2 years in Fort Lauderdale, we all knew it was probably more realistically like 4 years. So I hear it's moving along. Do you hear anything about that, Ed?
Yeah, the same thing that you've heard, that the ball is rolling very slowly, but they're confident that it's going to happen. There's been some new people that have come into the new politicians that have come in, and I'm not really sure where they stand when it comes to the stadium. But let's hope they've sent out feelers to see if they are on board, which I hope they are, crossing fingers, because, man, this is taking so long. And realistically, that golf course is being underused, and I think this is going to be a much better project. It's not going to be cheap for the team because, there's all sorts of ash, not too far down from where the golf course or from all the lawn is right now. And it's going to cost the team millions of dollars to clean that up. So, it's not like they're getting free land they could just go and build on top. No, they're going to spend, tens of millions on to get that thing cleaned and then start building. So there's been some criticism that, they're going to make money off of it, but they're going to spend a lot of money on it too. So they could have gone somewhere else. But I think that area is pretty strategic. It's going to bring a lot of companies in. It's going to bring a lot of tourists in because it's right next to the airport. All they have to do is take the shuttle that takes them to the rental cars, and I think they're going to build a bridge to go over the road there, and they're basically at the stadium. So a lot of people that have like long layovers are just going to be able to get off their plane, get on that shuttle, and they're there. And get your Inter Miami jerseys or whatever, or take pictures at the stadium, because it's going to be right there.
Yeah, just I was, while you were talking about all that, and you had lots of good information, I just had to find what I was talking about as far as the Inter Miami, because I just want to prove that I'm right.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It says here from a Yahoo Entertainment, and also, hey, the one thing is a lot of people are referring to a law.com article that was written, and that article was written by the same guy, David something or other, same guy that had several lawsuits against Inter Miami, trying to stop them from building the stadium wherever they wanted to. Everywhere they were trying, he was trying to throw some lawsuits. So take that with a grain of salt. In that one law.com article, the guy is totally slanted in his view. Right. But anyways, Yahoo Entertainment says the case is not over. MLS is armed with another still unresolved claim that Inter Milan's registration should be rejected on the basis of Section 2E of the Lanham Act. MLS asserts that Inter is descriptive, meaning in this context that it describes a soccer club comprised of international players, or is involved in international soccer competitions rather than serving to uniquely distinguish Inter Milan and its identity. To illustrate this legal principle in other setting, consider a case involving an application for a bed and breakfast registry. The U.S. Patent Office refused to register this trademark on the grounds that it's merely described as making lodging reservations for others in private homes. So this is listed, the TTAB, whatever that stands for, has listed a scheduled MLS's case that runs into January of 2022. In the meantime, so it's not over. And in the meantime, it says it's possible that MLS and Inter Milan will negotiate a settlement that could permit both organizations to use the disputed word. And this was written 2 days ago.
That's awesome. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's all we need to know, because we don't want another, fiasco, or what rebranding, as we were talking about, wouldn't really happen that much. They just call themselves with the whole entire name. But if they can come into an agreement, I'll be happy with that.
One more one goal says, Peter, we're not married. Haha. Prove I am right on the name.
There you go.
I just, if I'm going to say something, if I'm going to say something that on the show, sometimes I'm just throwing crap against the wall. This time I was pretty confident. So. All right, it looks like there might be another voicemail here. Okay, it's Alejandro again, so that is Ale Boss, all right?
Hello, it's me again, Alejandro, and I kind of got dared to ask you this, so it's very, very off topic. The question is, what is your favorite food? You don't have to answer this.
Oh, no, we do. We do have to answer that. That is a fun question. Ed, go first. What is your favorite food?
Oh man, I don't know. I like. I'm very much into Mexican food, so I'm into burritos and stuff like that. So Mexico.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Exactly, it could be Taco Bell.
Yeah, for me,
what about you, man?
It's simple. Pizza is my number one favorite food. You could do so many different things with it. It's fun. Just had it yesterday. Had a little bit healthier. Had a cauliflower crust pizza from Pieology. Whoa. I don't know how many of you are into Pieology. You ever been to Pieology, Ed?
Never even heard of it, Peter. But since you're like the health nut lately, of course you would know.
Well, Pieology, it's not necessarily a healthy place, but you can get a healthier crust, which is cauliflower. So I do that. No, it's kind of like a Subway or a Chipotle type style. Like you pick your bread, then you pick your sauces, you pick your toppings, they throw it in the brick oven, you go along the thing and you go, I want this, I want this, I want this. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
One World One Goal says her favorite is a Cuban sandwich.
Of course. Sandwich.
Oh, sandwich. Yes. Saying it with maybe a Cuban accent. Is that Cuban what that accent, is?
Yeah. Cuban sandwich.
So good stuff there. If we're gone long now, and I did see some people were asking for us to go long. So there was if I missed your comment and you want us to talk about it, now is your opportunity to throw it in the chat before we kind of just wrap it all up. But Eric Thomas, he says he likes air fried buffalo wings too. What's your point, Peter? What's my point about what? But air fried buffalo wings. I made some for Eric.
Eric.
Yes, I did. I did make some.
Wow.
And they were pretty tasty. They're pretty tasty. Do you have an air fryer, Ed?
No, you know what? No, that's one of the things that we want to buy. We just haven't gotten around to doing it. And there's been the opportunity to do it, and we just haven't. We haven't pulled the trigger.
I took advantage of the what was it? The Black Friday time period, I think it was. Buying a air fryer at that time when everything's a little bit knocked down in price. Got myself one of those Ninja air fryers. Love it, love it, love it.
Perfect.
Yep. It's a little healthier. I'm never going to tell you buffalo chicken wings are healthy, but it's a little bit healthier in that the oil drips and you don't use much oil at all in it. So here's some more favorite foods. You started a nice conversation there, Alejandro. Pizza all day by Mike Blitz.
Nice.
Boriculano says paella. That's good stuff too. El Sandwich, Judge Dredd. Footballer says one world, one goal really means panini, Cuban panini. I guess that's footballer's favorite. So Matt Z is asking us MLS schedule info, questions about that. Well, so, right now they are, one of the things I had thought we would talk about, but we haven't really, is it was a big topic. Our main topic last week was the force majeure. So having to, the MLS put the clause, enabled the clause that they had in the contract in the MLSP, in the players' contract to force them back to the negotiating table. So they put in their version on, I think it was Tuesday. They want the revisions that they wanted. And really MLS, I think it was a pretty sweet job. All they really wanted was to push back that agreement, that new players agreement, 2 years. And no pay cuts for the players. I think that's pretty sweet. Players should sign off on it. Done. And then you can start the season. But that's not going to happen. The MLSPA is going to come back and negotiate a little bit. Some people are on their side of things, are looking at the long term. That means players are going to take a lot longer to get those higher salaries that they were pushing for. So that'll take a little. It's like right now MLS is kind of playing that long game. So they're going to save money over a long period of time. They'll give up the short game because they're playing the long game. So and it's also putting off the revenue sharing in the TV contracts. So I say all that to get to the when of the season start, because if they don't get that deal worked out, the season may not start, because it could end up going into a lockout or something like that, or a strike. So I think I would think that the MLSPA is probably going to look at what the MLS sent, ask for a few tweaks here and there, and then they come to a decent agreement. I think that because everybody at the end of the day wants to play. The players, on the lower end of the spectrum, are going to be hurting sitting at home and not making any money. So they need to work something out and forget about your top level.
Rent.
Yeah, for your guys like Higuain, Pizarro, they don't have to worry about it. They can pay their rent, no big deal. They made enough money. But your other guys that are just coming into the team, like your Valencias, they need to make some cash. Although he's still living at home, but let's be honest, he's still living at home. So,
but he still wants to make some cash. So.
He still wants to buy himself some new Air Jordans or something like that. Take the girlfriend out. There you go.
Yeah.
So the league wants to start playing games in March, but more than likely they're going to end up having to push it back a little bit. And the reason they want to start it in March is because it's a crowded calendar with all the international competitions. But some of the owners I know want to push it back because they want to have fans in the stands. And so they want to push it, delay it as much as they possibly can so that, time has gone by where more people have taken the vaccine and they can allow for more people in the stands. And so, like here in Florida, we've got a limited capacity. We're allowing some people. California is still shut down. So nobody's going to see a game over there.
Yeah. And we still got till March. So there's some time still. March is when the season was going to start.
That's what they want it to start in March, but in reality, it's probably going to end up starting in April or a little bit, mid-April or something like that, I would assume. And Mike Blitz agrees that the players should take that deal. And some Aleboss saying somebody left another voicemail. Let's see. We have a lot of good voicemails today. No, I don't have any other voicemails. Oh, wait. There it goes. Just popped in. This is a really old phone here that I'm using to play these voicemails on. All right, here we go.
Oh, man, I don't even think I need to say my name by now. You probably know who I am. Anyway, let's get to the question. And this question is, do you think Phil Neville, if he gets manager, will do good? Thank you.
Well, Alejandro, I think we covered that throughout the show. I think. Well, no, I guess we never really gave our opinion on do we think he will do a good job. I think he will be better than Alonso. Yeah, mm-hmm. I wasn't the biggest fan of Alonso. I called, I was kind of straddling the fence a little bit, saying, he should be fired now or he should be fired later, but he should be fired at some point. So, I wasn't the biggest fan, even when they first signed him, because they talked about getting all these international big name coaches, and then they get with this guy and they say, oh, he was our target from the beginning. BS. So I think he will be better than Alonso. He was a world-class player. He's been in the locker room with big talents, so that might clue him in on how to handle big name talents and handle the egos and things like that. So and going by what we hear that he likes to do a more possession style game, I think that's what most of us fans want to see. So I think he will be better. Yes, exactly. I think he will be better. What do you think, Ed?
I think he could be better if he has the right people behind him, people that know how the league works, all the information on what he could do with all the TAM money and the DPs that he's got, and he could bring, as long as he's able to say who his players are, like Alonso didn't get that chance to do on many, except maybe Pizarro and a couple other players. This guy's got the chance of, he's already has a base of players. If they give him a good team, people that know the league, that will help him pick some of these players that he needs to fill in the gaps, I think he will do well, especially if they bring him in now. The sooner the better.
Yes,
get him on the next plane and let him start working with what he's got and start making those contacts. Beckham needs to make those phone calls. Or get better players, like Peter said, or better friends within MLS, and then we'll. If
he's going to talk to his friends, get some better friends. Yeah. Eder Catalan says, "Stay safe, everyone. Praying for the well-being of the team and its fans." I also want to say, I hope Neville doesn't come. So, Eder is not a fan. The problem with Phil Neville is we just don't have a lot to look at as far as being a head coach of a club. That's the only problem. He could be amazing. We could have the best coach in the league. It's just a big question mark is the problem.
Right.
So, and One World, One Goal asked if the phone is from 2007. Yeah, probably. It's a iPhone 6 Plus. So what year was that? All right. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Judge Dredd thinks that Neville can be a great boss given time and proper resources. Well, one thing this club has made clear, they will not give you the time but then again, him being a buddy of Beckham, maybe he gets the time that he needs. But Aleboss says he thinks somebody left. Did you leave another voicemail, Aleboss? All right, one last time. We gotta go. We gotta end this.
It's him again.
Hello for the a million times. This is more of a comment, not a question. Anyway, I just wanted to say, I think Diego Alonso was horrible. And because he played 3 in the back with players who never even played together. I just think that's a stupid idea. Anyway, yeah.
I like this kid. I mean, listen, you can hear. I don't know how old are you, Ale Boss Alejandro. I don't know how old he is, but he knows what he's talking about. I mean, he
does.
And he asks the hard hitting questions like, "What's your favorite food?" So I like this kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he sits and hangs out with us on a Sunday night. That's some good parenting. That's some good parenting right there, Ed.
I don't know. After I brought out that little baby with the chains on it.
Dude, Ale Boss is 12.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, he knows his soccer at such a young age. That's nice. That's nice.
That's good.
All right. Salute Walberth Arias and company. I am Walberth. Saludos.
How you doing, Walberth?
All right. Well, anyways, there's a lot. Hang on a second. We got a super chat. Thank you so much. We don't even talk about super chat, but we really appreciate anybody that wants to send us a super chat from Eder Catalan. So character, he sent lifting some weights. Keep it up. So unfortunately, this application doesn't show the actual sticker that he used, but it is a character lifting some weights. So thank you for the $4.99 super chat.
I get to see it if you're on.
I don't.
YouTube,
Yeah, on the screen. When I put it up on the screen, it doesn't show.
It is definitely a pair, and it is lifting weights.
Nice.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Eric, you want to get banned from the show? Saying that Ale Boss is one of my daughter's friends. We don't talk about that. Anyways, that was a joke. But all right. Well, anyways, lots going on. We have so much the one thing this club has done is it's given us something to talk about in the off season, and that is a lot of fun, and I really appreciate that. So, thank you for being a telenovela, Inter Miami. it's given us a lot of fun conversations this off season.
And we definitely had a lot of fun. We were afraid that there was going to be nothing to talk about, Peter, and there's so much to talk about in this offseason. And Inter Miami, thanks for being a drama queen of a club. We love you. And, keep going. And hopefully this year we'll get that championship. Now that Beckham's on board 100%, this season is our season, Peter.
And let me say this. If we get any news, say on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even a Friday about the coach, I may decide to just throw up an impromptu live discussion. So if anybody feels like jumping on and talking about whatever announcement they make, I may just decide to do that, and just so we can all kind of talk together and really not have a planned show, just us talking and leaving voicemails and giving our thoughts and opinions on whatever they decide. So if there is any kind of an announcement, I may just do that. So be on the lookout. If you haven't clicked that little bell icon, do it, because it'll show anytime we go live, even if we don't promote it. You'll get notified. So we'll
try to promote it on our social media. I'm gonna Peter, to give me a heads up, I'm going live. I'll put it on social media, and everybody just jump on board and talk with Peter.
Yeah, and we'll hit that bell icon though. It's a good thing to do. So, and Joseph Jean says he'll jump on with us whenever we do it. So, we
appreciate it.
Ale Boss can't wait for another show where we can ask a million questions that suck. I like this kid. All right, everybody, have a great night. And we will talk to you later. Thanks so much for joining in, and thanks to Caneswear. So go to Caneswear, and we will see you all later.